All right, hello everybody. So let's do a weekly wrap up. I was away for the weekend, plus Thursday and Friday I was gone. Monday I wasn't here at work either, at home. So let's take a look at what the weekly wrap up did. Also, I did a good news video. We've got software coming out, and it's like really going to give us all the timing, the swing days, the trade days, the long term, short term, medium term, intraday hours, everything on one module with all the mathematical cycles as well. Let's start off with the week of 25-29 May. Also, by the way, if you are interested, then go to, where are we, globaltraderclub.com, okay, and just register to be in the mailing list here. All right, you can also get a blueprint if you haven't gotten one. It's free. Just get the blueprint, and if you want to just do a trial, it's only $19 to try for a week. If it doesn't change your trading, then I don't know what will. Okay, but let's take a look at what the week gave us. So week of May 25-29 market timing report. These were the swing days, swing or trade days. These were the possible vector days. You can just take a screenshot, do your own evaluation. Let me get my head out of the way here. Just bear with me. Here we are. Okay, so as you can see, I'm in the archive here. All right, so this week is obviously June. So Monday, remember it's UTC +3. Tuesday, Wednesday timing, Thursday timing, Friday, like I said, no video for Thursday. I don't work on Friday, so sometimes there will be, sometimes there won't be a video on Friday. Other than that though, that's how it is. And that also is, like I said, the swing days period. I gave a new format last week, remember? All swing days are going to be like this now, so we're going to know exactly when a trade swing period is going to start. Like for example, May 5, when it's going to possibly end, see May 13, May 14, then when it's going to go back. Okay, so that's going to be like the 18th, the 20th, and the 22nd. So if you take a look at that, for example, look, this is like the 5th going into the 13th, coming into the 20th, 22nd. As you can see, the market is down, and this is obviously trading day for last week Thursday, and this is this week. Okay, so we'll see how things pan out. You can see it's a bit of an inside situation, but overall that's how it went. So knowing these days obviously and hours when to trade, when these swings are going to start, is really important, because you can follow your trade. Even if you're day trading, right, you can go in when we're expecting something to start, and then you see you've got a start date again on the 13th, and you've got a peak day on the 14th. So obviously this is going to be some kind of a level where the market is going to start to turn around, so you better take your profit. And then when that starts off, May 13, May 14, it's going to take us into possibly the 22nd or the 20th, right? And it's possibly, it might peak out on the 18th. So then you can just follow those dates and match it to your technical analysis. And doing technical analysis doesn't need to be difficult, especially in this day and age. So if you're just using your MetaTrader 5 or whatever trading view, you can just get your price levels and trade. I'll be working on our pricing indicator as well once I finish off the timing. As you know, the time, space, and motion indicator that we have is gold, and you won't find it anywhere else. So once I add that to the arsenal as well, then we'll have like a trade day plus give me the daily time, space, and motion price. When we get in there, matches your trading hour or it's close to that trading hour, it's a bingo trade. All right, I've done some tests also, which I've actually posted on LinkedIn, and we had like more than 80%, like it was like 86% success rate on the reports that were generated on the timing. So it's really worthwhile using it. So let's take a look at what happens. I'm just going to put this on my other monitor, right, and we'll see how things panned out. So first of all, let's take a look at that trading period. Like I said, I just got gold in front of me, but you can do this for whatever you want. The swing days periods you can do for whatever you want. Okay, I've already posted the June ones as well in the swing day periods for June. So they're in the current month's view. So as you can see, it started off here in May, on May 5. Remember, I just started doing this recently, and then we went all the way into there, the 13th. You can see the market coming into 18th, the 20th, and then we're in chop zone. So it's already a good period. And once you're, in that 22nd, you can see, right? 22nd is there, and then 29 is there. Okay, so that's when like peak day. Okay, so it's there, and then we've got a June 5, right? So June 5 is there, and that's the last one on that May. So June 5 is here, all right, as you can see. And today's Wednesday, it's the 3rd, so Friday. So we should be dipping into Friday then. Since I don't have, also, if you take a look at your swing days period for this week, right, you won't see anything for gold on a Friday. So what's that tell you? It's Monday, Tuesday. Okay, we could be flowing into Friday or sticking around here into Friday. And then next week's trade days are going to be like, okay, where are we going now? If we're low, to the upside. If we're up, to the downside, kind of thing. So it'll give you really easy bias, and then you just match it to price and time. So let's take a look at what happened on a Monday. So let's go into last week, Monday. Here we are. All right. So Monday. Now we had trade days Monday and Thursday last week, all right? That is your Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So obviously Monday turned out to be a swing high. All right, that's nice to see. All right. Then afterwards coming into swing Friday. So on Monday, Tuesday, I did say we could go to the upside, not a problem, okay? And then that was it. Thursday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So if you followed that up, intraday buying was okay. If you take a look at the hours, let's take a look at Monday hours. Look, these are the hours on Monday, all right? And see where the market made that high there, all right? Trade hours, sell. Trade hours, buy. Trade hours, sell. Trade hours, buy. And then we've got trade hour here, trade hour here. Price is still there. Look at Tuesday, Asia session, 225. That's your 225 to 4 o'clock, right? I've said 4 o'clock is a nice zone to trade. Okay, so 225 to 4 o'clock is a nice zone to trade. Here is your 4 o'clock. Where's your 2 o'clock? Well, somewhere there. This should be 2 o'clock here. Okay, 2, 4. That's your 4 o'clock. That's your, let me just make that clear for you. All right, you see that 2:15 there, right? So 225 to 4 o'clock. So come to 4 o'clock. Here we are. All right, nice. Is a nice zone to trade was my comment. If the market moves, it should have some drive behind it and should take us to 1055. Here is your 1055, guys. All right, so it's taken us into 1055. Now look what's happening here. See how the market is closing gap. So it's really logical where we're going. All right, the market keeps selling off. A little choppy here. All right, but the market's already moved. And look at the hours. Every time there's an hour, there's a sell reaction or a turnaround. Here's also turnaround. Look at that, push down. So that's how we're going into Tuesday. And let's take a look at Wednesday now. I wasn't doing anything on Wednesday. Let's take a look at the Wednesday hours. What did I have? 5:40, and the move should take us to 10 past 9 to 9:50. 5:40. Where is 5:40? This is 5:40. The move should take us to 10 past 9 to 9:50. This is your 10 past 9, 9:50. is there. Okay, so the market took us down into this zone, and from here you can see the market sizzling up a little bit, cooling off a little bit. We can hang out here or move out by 10:35. So let's see what happened in 10:35. This is 10:35, market chucking a UE going to resistance. This should take us to 235. So 235, it's going to be down here somewhere, right? 235, all right? So the market from here went up a little bit, resistance, okay? So I didn't catch this move here. I didn't catch this here, which was 12 o'clock, right? 11:45, 12. I didn't have anything for 11:45, 12. And then this should take us to 235. So it took us to 235, and then stuff got a little chop. Beyond needs care. So anything beyond 235, I said it needs care. If market moves from here, target 730 to 750, 1930 to 1950. 1930 to 1950 is around here. So as you can see, I did say this zone needs to you need to take care in this zone, and it really did get kind of choppy. Okay, so if you were aware of what's going on, you should have been cautious. Beyond this time, we can expect the market possibly to continue to closing or slow down and move sideways, slowing down, moving sideways, and that's exactly what happened. Okay, so having these in the comments is obviously a good thing. Let's take a look at Thursday. So on Thursday I was flying out, so I didn't do anything. 5:15 was the first time, and 7:40. That's your 7:40. 5:15. Let's see, where's 5:15? 5:15 is there. That's the first support. Market crashing down, coming into the next trade hour at 7:40, and I've said from which we should go to 11:40 and 12:35. So 11:40, 12:35. This is your 12:30. All right. So the market's moved up into 12:30 and possibly to 2:35. Let's check out 2:35. This is 2:35 here. At 4:05, we might find ourselves at a retracement or adjustment level. Well, let's see if that really happened. This is your 4:05, guys. Okay, so the market rushes into 4:05. Bit of an adjustment level. Market going sideways here. Okay. We should target 6:30. Let's target 6:30. This is your 6:30. Then 9:40, so let's keep targeting. After 6:30, we should target 9:40. 9:40 is on that bar, okay? And finally 11 if the direction holds. Well, it didn't do any dramatic falls, but 11 o'clock is around here. So when we go up here, this would be a place where you took profit. Why? Because you know where they sold off before. So if the market comes up there at a trading hour, you obviously don't want to be mucking around, right? So just take your money and go. Remember, Thursday was a trade day. Was a trade or a swing day? It's a day where you want to be like getting into the market, right? Okay, so that's what we had Monday and Thursday. So on Monday, we started falling into Thursday. Thursday, we started going up into Friday. What did I say for Friday? Let's check out the hours. Obviously no video there, like I said, I was away. Friday 1:30, 3:25. Let's see, 1:30 is there, and then I've got 3:25 to 3:40. 3:25. This is 3:40. All right, so 3:25 is just going to be that bar there. So 3:25 is there. All right, so the market is right on the zone and it's broken above the close and opening price. Okay, so then what? 6:05 is a good time to trade if it matches price. 6:05, where is it? 6:05. Oh my goodness, this is 6:05. So this bar closes off, market starts taking off. Very nice. This level can take us into 12:05 to 12:50. Well, 12:05 to 12:50. I think is already giving you 1205 to 1250. Here we are. Okay, that's your 1250. So that's nice and easy. And then we've got, and then to 450. So you've got to follow this through into 450. But here you should manage your trade, take some profit. Let's see where 450 is. 450 market still going to the upside. Nice. And which could keep going until 10:30. So let's see where we're at. 10:30. So this is 10:30 over here, right? So it's kind of like gone up and then come back down. Now, if you were trading, let me get rid of that line there. If you were trading, would you have taken profit there? Let's see. You would have if they sold there before. If not, you might have just followed through. But look at technical analysis. You would have said to yourself, just a second, you know, they sold here before, so you would have managed the trade when the market went up, okay? Or, you know, like pushed your stops up, or said to yourself, you know what, I'm taking profit here because this is a place where they sold off before, and see how the buyers got trapped. See all the buyers who got in, okay, got trapped. So this is why you need to make sure your technical analysis is nice and easy. All you got to do is just draw lines. It's not bloody rocket science, okay? So match your timing and price. If timing isn't there, check your prices. If you're at a place where they sold heavy, you're either going to take profit or you're really going to push your stop forward and then let the market do what it does. Now, this is Monday, Tuesday this week, so I'm not going to wrap this up because we still have Thursday, Friday to go. Okay, but you could do this for any asset you like. Also, for gold, it was an all-week routine. So possible vector energy days. It was a routine week. Let's see what happened on euro dollar last week. I only had Thursday for euro dollar last week as a trade day. And I said until Wednesday it was routine, then flow with move until Friday closing. So this is the daily. So let's take a look at last week, Thursday. So where are we? Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Friday, Thursday. Oh, look at that, Thursday. All right, very nice. Okay, look, see how the market's following through Thursday. So that was a trade day. Market comes back, retesting the lows, going back. On that Thursday last week, let's take a look at last week, Thursday, to see what happened at the trading hours, right? And I also want to just make this a little tighter to show you where the bounce was coming from. You see, this is like coming from previous week. See the Thursday market pushing up, right, from the previous week. Then that's your Thursday, right? So the 28th of May. Let's just check on Thursday if we had an hour for the market comes down. Look what happens. This is the place where the market bought before. Look, see where they bought. This is a place. Okay, so they closed that gap here. Oops, you can't see. Let's do it. It's really interesting to see this shit, because just think about it. You're timing the market, right? It's just like saying from months or weeks ago, from days ago, you're saying this is the hour you got to look out for. It's just crazy. And this is the place where they bought as well. So you can see that this zone is a buy location, right? So you've got three prices here, okay? So there you go. So all you have to do is like kind of like line them up horizontally, right? And then the market comes back there again on a Thursday, which is a trade day. So you're thinking, nice, it's a trade day, we can trade today. The market's come back to a place where they bought before. Isn't that lovely? Absolutely. Is it now a trading hour? Let's take a look. What have I got there? 7:47. Oh, on Thursday, look, 7:40. Here it is. All right, this is the members area. 5:15 and 7:40. All right, beautiful. So all you have to do is just 7:40 is on this bar actually. All right, 7:44. Why is that 7:44? I'm on a 15-minute chart. This is 7:15, 7:30. Here we are. All right. So this is the chart here. You can see it's just bingo. All you have to do and see how the market went down, just terrorized everybody, and then just went up. So on Thursday, did you have another opportunity to dive back in? I've said from which we should go to 11:40 to 12:35. So if anybody was following it, then 11:40 to 12:35. Look, this is 12:35. All right, and our bias is 2 if we're down. All right, so if we're down back here, after this push, we come back down here. Market is buying. Beautiful. All right, that's it. A bit of a retracement at 12:35. Where's 11:40? 11:40 is going to be that bar, isn't it? 11:45 is there. 11:40 there. So 11:40, 12:35. Market sizzles down, cools down, nice and easy. And possibly, what have I said? And possibly to 2:35. 2:35. Where's 2:35? Oh, look. 2:35. Market starts making a U-turn again. Where do I want to go to? At 4:05. We might find ourselves at a retracement adjustment level. 4:05. Let's see where 4:05 is. Oh, look. 4:05. Market adjustment level. Slight retracement. Beautiful. So nice place to kind of like cover your trade, move your stops just under the opening and closing. You can see no gaps here. It's all nice and easy. And then we should target 6:30. Let's target 6:30. 6:30. Look, this is your 6:30. Here you have to take fucking profit. You just have to. Why? Because look at the sell-off. All right, see how they sold off. So you have to take profit. So you entered the trade here, or you got yourself back in here. Remember, the bias is long from the down up. If the market is down, trade day, you want to go to the upside. Sometimes we wait to the end of the day. Why? Because at the end of the day, something's going to happen and it's a target. And sometimes I do say, listen, wait till the end of the day, like I did in the video today, and check out Asia session. Because on the Asia session, we've got some timing that you want to take care of. Right? So obviously, knowing if you know how to time the market, if you learned how to time the market from me, you understand those little details. But if you don't, let's say you're just a member, you just dropped out of the sky and you're thinking, oh, I could use a few good hours to trade and I can plan my life and day, then this is your setup, right? So the market sold off before, beautiful, comes back up here, you take profit, you just have to, all right? And you've done a big run all day or half a run all day, right? Half a done, let's say from London to here. Now this is New York, okay, so New York just going up there into 6:30, then 9:40 and 11. So obviously the market's still hanging around here at 9:40. Where are you? 9:40. There. You see how the markets begin to just cool off. But it's done the move, and that's a good. This is why I say trading on a trade day is good if you know those days in advance. And with the new software, you're just gonna love. I've graded everything for long term, medium term. In fact, I've put special situations in there where I've said, look, this week the market can be sideways and choppy, all right? So it has got comments in it. It's not just a date and an hour. It's got comments. Look out for this, look out for that, and blah, blah, blah. And that's how it is. Now on Friday, what could you have done on a Friday? You could have followed the up move with a pullback and to go up. What do we do at the Global Trader Club? What is one of the best favorite setups that I have is the 37.5 pullback. So if I've got an impulse wave, see how the impulse wave is from here. You can do two things, 37.5. Look at that 37.5. Was that a trade hour? So that's the question now, isn't it? So let's take a look at Friday. Let's see. I'm just going to put a line there before I check the date so I know. 11:45. Did I have 11:45? I had 12:05 to 12:50. This is your 12:05 to 12:50, which is there, and that's just beautiful. All right, 12:50, the market already taking off. Okay, so that's a beautiful setup. But you might have said, Marty, I made a mistake. I did that. Not a problemo. It's the 50% retracement at a trading hour. Okay, this timing, all right, timing and pricing together is more forgiving than any strategy you can possibly think of. Just do it, you know. And then the market goes up. So where are we going up into Friday? And then 450. Where's 450? 450. Oh, look where 450 is. So place to manage the trade. Okay. And why? Because they sold here before, right? So you want to manage your trade. You can take profit here, or you push your stop up and say, I want to follow this forward. Why? Because we've got a good impulse coming back to a pullback. So maybe we're making another higher high. And then where do you want to follow that to? Which could keep going until 10:30. Right, what's that hour? I didn't have a 6:30, but I did have a 10:30. So you could have still followed it into 10:30 here and said, you know what, I'm getting out in any case. All right. So that would have also been a good day if you followed it all the way in there. Would you have gotten out there? Well, let's get rid of this Fibonacci and see, you go back, the market hasn't sold there. All right. Well, there's a bit of a sell-off here, but maybe you might not have gone into that far. So if you kept the position open, fine, you're still in profit. If you said to yourself, oh, bloody hell, this has already gone up, and you know, we might get trapped. Okay, so Friday as well, they might trap us, then you would have moved your stop up for sure, and you would have, you know, gotten stopped out on the pullback with a profit in any case. Or if you followed it into 10:30, then you should have said to yourself, okay, you know what, market is closing, let's get out and call it a day. It's Friday anyway. All right, and that's how it is. So this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're already in the market, as you can see. So I'll do a wrap up when we get into this later on. Okay, so that's that. Like I said, if you want to, if you're interested in the timing software that we're going to have in the members area, it's going to be really good. You're just going to click whatever you're trading. Even if you're trading shares, right, it's going to take the session. So you don't have to be trading any futures. You don't have to trade the futures market. It doesn't have to be a 24/7 market. If you're trading, let's say, Apple stock or Tesla, right, and you just want to work on that, that's fine. All you're going to do is just enter I think one or two data, which is very easy to find, and I'm going to do a video on that as well. Once I'm done, it's going to be really good. It's going to be very helpful, and it's going to stop us from being limited with the 5 assets that I'm working on. Okay, we'll be able to like trade whatever you want, whenever you want, kind of thing. And I've also done a really extensive, great software. I think it's great for those who took the timing course from me. You are gonna just be amazed. Remember my big book where I do all the timing manually? Now I'm just gonna look at the screen and say Monday, yeah, those hours are good. Just gonna slap them on the screen and just gonna wait for them. And that's it. I don't have to be drawing around, making calculations and all that kind of stuff. So I've done that on Python, and I really like, you know, put it on there. So that's going to be really, really good as well. But that's like the big guns for people who know how to time the market. In the interim, have a good day, and we'll see you guys in another video sooner or later.